All right, if you're watching this, that means you tried round 2 on your own and you weren't quite as successful as you'd hoped to be. The big change from round 1 to round 2 is now you have to set up the problem all by yourself. And so if we kind of think about an example of what this problem might be about, maybe we have 64 pieces of candy that we got for Halloween, and we want to split those 64 pieces of candy evenly between 4 of our friends. We want to figure out how many each of them are going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the amount that I'm starting with, how many I totally want to use up, my total that I'm beginning with. That's my dividend, and it's going to go inside the house. So I have 64 pieces of candy. And I'm going to go ahead and divide those evenly between my 4 friends. So now I'm going to go ahead and set myself up for success. So I'm going to get multiplication man here, helps me remember to use my multiplication brain. And then I want to make sure that I keep my place value parking lot in line and that I include a box for each digit in my dividend. So it's called digit box. So if I go ahead and I draw my place value parking lot, you can see for where my quotient's going to go and through my dividend. And then everywhere where I have a digit, I'm going to have a box right above it. So digit box, digit box. And then of course we do want to put a box for our remainder just in case we have one so we don't forget to put it there. So digit box, remainder box. And of course this is my 1's place value parking spot and my 10's place value parking spot. So I have 64 pieces of candy, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a different color here. And I want to see how many each of my 4 friends is going to get if I divide or split it up evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my 6. And now this 6 really represents 60, but because it's in the tens place, I can just think about it as 6. I want to say to myself, 4 times what gets me closest to 6 without going over? Well, 4 times 1 is 4. That's pretty close. 4 times 2 is 8. That's already too much. So the best I'm going to do is my 1. So if the 4 is my bow and the 1 is my arrow, when I put the bow in the arrow, 1 times 4 landed at 4. So my target was a 6. I landed at 4. And I need to then think about, well, what did I miss it by? How far away from my target am I? How much do I have left if I started with 6 and used up 4? So I can either subtract and say, well, 6 take away 4 is 2. I like the count up strategy. It's really helpful. If I made it to 4, how far away from my target am I? 5, 6. I'm 2 away. So it means really that I had 2 groups of 10 left over. And I certainly don't want to forget about 2 groups of 10 pieces of candy. That's 20 pieces of candy that I don't want to forget about. So I can't really do anything with these 2 groups of 10 in the form of tens. So I am then going to break them down into 1s, into a smaller unit. And those are going to be added to the 4 1s I already had. So now I have a total of 24 pieces of candy that I'm going to try to divide up into groups of 4. But I'm going to use my multiplication mind here. 4 times what gets me as close to 24 as possible without going over? Well, 4 times 3 is 12. That's not quite there. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. That's pretty close. Let me see if I can go higher. 4 times 6, that's 24 exactly. So 6 is going to be the closest that I can get. That's the best arrow that I'm going to be able to put in my bow. 6 times 4 is 24. That lands me at 24. Since my target was 24 and I landed at 24, I am 0 away. And I'm going to go ahead and that becomes my remainder. So if I had 64 pieces of candy, dividing them between 4 people, it looks like each one of my friends would be able to get 16 pieces of candy, and I would have nothing extra remaining. What I want you to do is to take what you just heard and see if you can try the other round 2 question on your own, and then check in. Good luck.